And now, just for you, YK World!
Welcome to YK World, a podcast that navigates the gloopy relationship of music, tech, and art with a focus on releases from YK Records, the Nashville music scene, and many worthwhile divergences mixed in between. Is that the most accurate way to describe this brand new show? Probably not, but given that this is the inaugural debut episode, I'm allowing myself to be a little bit nebulous. The shape and form of this podcast is going to change over time, so I'm admitting up front that as we're in the gloop of it all, it's an admission that we're working with some very fungible properties. I'm your host, Michael Eads, a self-described internet dabbler for as long as I can remember. I started an indie record label in 2009 called YK Records, and we've unveiled over 140 releases in the past 15 years. I want this show to serve as a platform to talk about those releases, past, present, and future. But I don't want this show to just be a show about YK Records. I also want to talk about ways to release music, online and offline. I want to talk about movies and how they influence the creative process. I want to talk about how to keep your sanity when the internet tells you you have to post something to a social media network every single day. I want to talk about the benefits of making a cassette tape over an LP or maybe a print-on-demand t-shirt. All of the different things. Truthfully, the plan here is not to have a concrete plan, except to be open to whatever whims seem interesting. There's not going to be a strict format. Some episodes might be 10 minutes. Some might be 2 hours. Some episodes may be driven and hosted by me. Others may be a conversation entirely devoid of my presence. It's a work in progress, and it's an experiment. The show's going to change over time, and I hope you'll join along and appreciate that kind of evolution that's going to take place, but I hope you'll also participate in it and get in touch with me and let me know what you'd like to hear. My email is michael@ykworld.show, and I really hope that you will get in touch and tell me that you are listening and tell me what you'd like to hear about, because I will cover it. I have a long list of episodes that I want to investigate and pursue, but I'm also extremely open to ideas from the outside, so please get in touch. One thing's for sure, I want to talk about community and how a local scene can help bolster an individual release. I'm a firm believer that you can't just spend all your time promoting yourself or some project that you're involved in and get people to pay attention to it. You can't just talk about yourself all the time. You have to care about others doing the same thing. Community does not mean people next door to you or up the street. It doesn't have to be physical. It can also be digital. You don't have to care about what others are doing because it's a way for them to care about you. You should care about it because it's rewarding. It's just the right thing to do. If you're making music and you are listening to other people making music, talk about it. They will talk about you in return, but that's not why you do it. You just promote other people because pointing out something fantastic is rewarding for the human experience overall. To that end, I'd like to steer you towards a playlist put together by a friend of YK Records, Lance Conzit. Lance is a writer, photographer, avid music fan, and relentless music champion. He recently put together a playlist called The Nashville 100, which is exactly what it sounds like. 100 tracks of music coming out of Nashville that you should be aware of. Maybe this is news to you, but Nashville has a thriving music scene that extends far beyond country music and singer-songwriters. So much so that it's actually a cliche around here to say Nashville is so much more than country music. Despite the baggage that comes with that phrase, Lance's playlist is a fantastic dose of evidence that proves that point completely. There's plenty of hip-hop, alternative metal, throwback indie rock, apocalyptic synthwave, modern R&B, instrumental noir compositions, shoegaze, searing post-rock, to name just a few of the genres I see in the list. There's also a great deal of YK Records releases in there. I am flattered and honored to be a part of a long list of influential and important music that Lance has compiled here. Truly humbled. I have reached out to him personally and thanked him, but I'm doing it again here so that you all know I cannot believe so much YK Records is in this list. It feels, it feels so good. So instead of steering you directly to a playlist of only YK Records releases, which seems like a sensible thing to do on an inaugural episode of a show, I'm going to ask that you click through in the show notes to get to Lance's playlist so you can hear a bunch of Nashville music, including some YK Records releases. I am sure one day I will steer you towards a YK playlist that's only YK releases, but that's not today. I'm excited for where this podcast is headed. If there are topics or interviews you want to hear about, as I said, let me know. Reach out to michael@ykworld.show. I'm going to talk about this more on a later episode, but I have intentionally omitted tracking statistics for this show. I don't want to have some way of seeing how many or how few people are listening to this because, frankly, I think metrics are ruining projects like this. If you're out there and you're listening, please send me an email or a DM just to say that you're listening. I would appreciate it very much. Our theme music for the show and the music beds is created by one of my favorite people, Mac Burris. Absolutely crushed it. I'm sure you will hear more of his creations on future shows and hopefully from Mac himself on a future episode. Find him on Instagram @MacBurris. That's linked in the show notes. Thank you so much, Mac. I love it. I love it so much. I have listened to the intro over and over and over again. I can't wait to play it on every episode of this show. Find us on the internet at ykworld.show, which you're probably listening to this from ykworld.show or maybe your favorite podcast app. Either way, thank you very much. Find us on Instagram @RecordsYK. We're also on Blue Sky. All of this is linked in the show notes. You can find it there. Email me anytime. I've said this 3 or 4 times now, michael@ykworld.show. This is the beginning. It's only the beginning. I'm so excited to take you on this journey. I'm so excited to join you on this journey. We're going to have such a blast making these episodes, and I hope we'll talk about some important things and some stupid things and some silly things and some poignant things. Welcome to YK World. I'll talk at you soon. Bye.